This one says,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is currently the face of WWE. He is currently Universal Undisputed Champion. He has won the Universal title back in 2020. Still he is running and also added a WWE title to his collection at WrestleMania 38 after defeating Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns is one of the most successful WWE stars in the last 10 years. He has managed 6 WrestleManias and as of now he accomplished everything he wanted. Like he has a victories over likes of Undertaker, Triple H, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. He has already Hall of Fame worthy career. He has achieved what one could dream of. Let's talk about his top 10 matches in WWE in this video. Number 10, Roman Reigns vs Daniel Bryan, Fastlane number 15, winner will face Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 31. It was a stepping stone in the road of Roman's main event career. At that time, Daniel Bryan was fan favorite. He has relinquished his world title back in 2014 after winning WrestleMania main event, and he made his return few weeks back. And then WWE set up a match between the two of them, and winner will face Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 30. It was an amazing match, like both of them. Like it was the first time in many years we were seeing a young talent getting a chance to shine in WrestleMania. And Daniel Bryan was very hot at that moment. He was fan favorite. Everybody was in the favor. But also Roman Reigns was getting a too much reaction by the crowd. Like he was regarded as the new face of WWE. It was an amazing match. We saw Daniel Bryan going after Roman Reigns like he attacked him brutally in the start. Then Roman Reigns fought back. Daniel Bryan went for submission. Then Roman hesitated. He threw him a punches. Then we saw both of them like throwing punches, kicks to each other. Then we saw Daniel Bryan going for running knee, and he gave Roman a two running knees. Then he waited for submission moves, and then we saw a little bit drama in the match. Like according to referee, the Roman Reigns submitted. Once the Roman didn't submit, then we once again saw the match being restarted. Then Roman Reigns delivered a spear. It was like 4-star match for me, and then we saw Roman Reigns winning this match and got a chance to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. It was an amazing match, like one of the best match Roman Reigns' early career. And then we saw a spread between both of them at the end of the match. 6 years later, we saw another blockbuster between both of them, Fastlane 21, where Daniel Bryan tapped Roman Reigns, but referee didn't saw it, and Roman Reigns retained his Universal title. It was also an epic match. Number 9, Roman Reigns vs Braun Strowman, Fastlane 270. This match has so much significance because it was last stop for Roman Reigns before facing his biggest challenge of all time, WrestleMania 33 against Undertaker. Like 270 rivalry between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns was so epic they delivered amazing matches throughout the year. Like Great Balls of Fire, Payback, and Fastlane. Fastlane match was so amazing for me because in this match both of them was booked as an amazing monsters. Like in the start of match we saw Braun Strowman dominate Roman Reigns, giving him a hell of punishment, but then we saw Big Dog making his comeback in the match. Then he would deliver back-to-back Superman punches to Braun Strowman, but it was not enough to knock down the monster among the men. Then we saw Braun Strowman dragging Roman Reigns out of the ring. He delivered running power slam on the announcer table to the Roman Reigns. Then we saw Roman Reigns made his comeback by delivering vicious spear to the Braun Strowman through the barricade. Then we saw Roman Reigns giving punishment Braun Strowman outside the ring with chairs and kicks. Then we saw Braun Strowman getting in the ring where he delivered a hell of power slam to Roman. It was amazing power slam. You can take a look in this video how vicious their power slam was. Then we saw Roman Reigns deliver back-to-back spear to finally knock down the monster among the men, and there Roman Reigns scored a victory. I think it was much needed victory for Roman Reigns because he needed that victory to head into WrestleMania against Undertaker. It was amazing match, like 4.5-star match for me. It was good match. Number 8, Roman Reigns vs Bray Wyatt, Hell in a Cell top 15. Bray Wyatt is probably one of the best opponent Roman Reigns throughout his WWE career. They always deliver amazing matches, epic feud. They had great chemistry because both of them debuted in WWE main roster around same time. They had feud with almost each other's every gimmick, whether it was feud between Wyatt family versus Shield or whether it was feud between the Tribal Chief versus the Fiend. They always had epic feuds. But we got one of the best feuds between them and 250 around SummerSlam time, where Bray Wyatt made Roman's life living hell and he played mind games with him each week of Raw and SmackDown. Then we saw Dean Ambrose accompanying his Shield brother and taking on against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper at SummerSlam, where they defeated them. After that, we saw Bray Wyatt adding new collection as Wyatt family, the Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men. Then we saw Braun Strowman and Wyatt family dominate everyone on Raw and SmackDown. At Night of Champions, we saw Chris Jericho accompanying Reigns and Ambrose to take on Wyatt family, but it was not enough to stop Wyatt family, and they defeated them barely at Night of Champions with brutal punishment. After inclusion of Braun Strowman and Wyatt family became more and more stronger. The Bray Wyatt continued playing mind games with Roman every week of Raw and SmackDown, and with the monster like Braun Strowman humiliated him in each week of Raw and SmackDown. Then we saw a clash between both of them at Hell in a Cell, where Roman has nobody to interfere him. He finally got his hands on Bray Wyatt. In the start of match, we saw Angry Roman Reigns delivered punches and throwing clotheslines to Bray Wyatt. Then we saw Bray Wyatt making his return in the match by taking Roman's with kendo sticks all over the ring. Then they were outside the ring where Bray Wyatt gave brutal punishment to Reigns, like smashing his way through the cage and also attacking with the chairs and kendo sticks. Then Roman made his return in the match by attacking Bray Wyatt with kendo sticks all over the cage. Then we saw Bray Wyatt putting Reigns through the table and then attacking him with chairs and smashing his face in the cage once again. He was brutally punishing Reigns. Then Reigns made his return in the match, attacking Wyatt with the face in his chair, then spearing him through the table, and then giving power bomb through the table. Like he gave brutal punishment. Then Wyatt was looking for Sister Abigail. After delivering one Sister Abigail, Wyatt was looking for another Sister Abigail, but then Reigns countered his move and smashed him for back-to-back two spears, and then he pinned him. It was an amazing match, like 4.5 star match for me. It was too much brutal, but it was an amazing match. Number 7, Roman Reigns vs AJ Styles on 16 Extreme Rules pay-per-view World Heavyweight Championship match. AJ Styles was red hot into 16. He was fans' favorite. Everybody was cheering for him. After making his WWE debut Royal Rumble, they both crossed their path Royal Rumble. But AJ Styles set his eyes on his world title after Roman Reigns won his World Heavyweight Championship back in WrestleMania 32. They both had an amazing feud. Like build up to this match was amazing. Like promo work, everything was amazing. Then they had amazing matches payback for World Heavyweight Championship where Roman retained the title, and it was first rivalry where we saw the glimpses of Miller Line and AJ Styles also his allies like OCs on this side, and it was an amazing rival including both teammates. After delaying blockbuster at payback, we once again saw AJ Styles vs Reigns at Extreme Rules and Extreme Rules. In the start of match, we saw both of them going after each other, throwing punches at each other. Then Reigns tossed AJ Styles out of the ring. Then he attacked him with a steel chair. Then AJ Styles made his comeback and took a steel chair in the ring, attacked Reigns brutally with the steel chair. Then we saw AJ Styles delivered phenomenal forearm to Roman Reigns from the top rope, smashing him right through the announcer table. Then we saw AJ Styles going one step further, like delivering Styles Clash to Roman Reigns on announcer table. Then we saw both men getting in the crowd and they had an amazing brawl there, both of them throwing punches at each other. Then we saw Roman getting in the ring and throwing a brutal power bomb to AJ Styles, but it was not enough to stop the phenomenal once he kicks out of that move. After that, we saw AJ Styles deliver one phenomenal forearm to Roman Reigns. He was looking for another phenomenal forearm, but this time Roman Reigns caught him in a midair, delivered vicious spear, and he pinned him to retain his world title. It was an amazing match, one of the best matches of Roman Reigns' career, if you look wrestling-wise, because AJ Styles make everybody look gold in the ring, and it was an epic match, 4.7 star match for me. After the match, we saw huge twists like Seth Rollins making his comeback in WWE by taking Roman Reigns with pedigree in the ring, and then he set up a feud between him for World Heavyweight title. It was perfect ending of perfect match. Number 6, Roman Reigns vs Triple H WrestleMania 32 WWE World Heavyweight Championship. From 2015 to 2016, Authority made Roman's living held the Coastal World Heavyweight Championship multiple times during that time period, and Triple H made him defend his WWE title in Royal Rumble match. It was obvious that Roman will eventually lose his title there, and Triple H won the Royal Rumble match and became the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He also eliminated Roman Reigns during that match. And then we saw a match between both of the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania 32 in a main event. Despite being 45 years plus old in this match, Triple H gave an amazing performance. Like in the start of match, we saw grappling and shoulder tackles between both of them. The match really got interesting when Triple H threw the Reigns out of the ring. His match is fair multiple times in announcer table then delivered. But good, then we saw Reigns deliver a vicious spear to the Triple H and through the barricade. Then Triple H made his comeback in the match. Throughout the match, Stephanie McMahon assisted him. Then we saw Triple H delivering a spine buster to Roman Reigns in the ring. Then we saw him giving a backbreaker to Triple H and like punching him throughout the match. Then we saw him going for submission moves and all that, but then we saw both of them giving punches, blows to each other, and then Reigns made his comeback in the match by delivering a powerful power bomb to Triple H. Then the game made his comeback in the match by Dylan running knee to the Roman Reigns. Then he brings Sledgehammer in the game, but Roman Reigns delivered Superman punch to Triple H, and he was trying to spear Triple H, but instead he speared Stephanie McMahon. During the match, Stephanie McMahon got speared twice in the match by Roman Reigns. Then both men delivered their finishers to each other. Triple H delivered pedigree, but it was not enough to stop Reigns. Then Reigns delivered a spear, but Triple H kicked out of it. Then Reigns delivered multiple spears, and finally he pinned Triple H. It was great victory for Reigns, like pinning legend like Triple H in WrestleMania Mania there too in the WWE World Championship. It was great victory, like good accomplishment for Roman Reigns. Wrestling wise, it was not that much great, but it certainly was one of the top win of Roman Reigns' career. Number 5 Elimination Chamber 2018 match for number 1 contendership. Winner was faced to determine Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 34 for Universal title. It was one of the most star-studded Elimination Chamber match of all time. It has 5 former World Heavyweight Champion, current IC Champion, The Miz. The match started off with The Miz, Rollins, and Finn Balor in the ring. In the start of the match, they delivered great performance like each superstars 11 is their signature moves. The match athleticism by 3 superstars, and each superstar was trying to pin another superstar. Nobody was getting pinned. Then Seth Rollins delivered amazing signature moves to everyone. Then Roman Reigns made his entry in the match. After Reigns, John Cena made his entry in the match. Then Roman Reigns delivered a spear to everybody in the ring: Miz, Rollins, Cena, and Balor. After Braun Strowman's entry in the match, all of the superstars in the ring unified. They tried to knock out Braun Strowman first, and they delivered amazing team performance to knock out Braun Strowman for a while. Then Elias made his entry in the match. He went right after Seth Rollins and tried to knock out everybody in the ring. Then Braun Strowman made his comeback in the match. Each superstar delivered his signature move to Braun Strowman. First, Roman connected with Superman punch. Then Balor delivered drop kicks, and then Cena delivered attitude adjustment. Also, Rollins delivered curb and stomp. Then Super Cena made his comeback in the match, delivering knuckle shuffle to Miz and Rollins. Then he performed amazing feat of strength like carrying 2 superstars at the same time and delivered super adjustment to Rollins and Balor. Then Braun Strowman came like a wrecking machine in the match. He first eliminated The Miz, then eliminated Elias, then John Cena, then Finn Balor. He eliminated all of them by running power slam. Then we saw former Shield brothers joining forces to keep Braun Strowman down for a while. After keeping Braun Strowman down, Roman and Rollins went after each other. Then we saw Braun Strowman eliminated Rollins by running power slam. Then we saw a huge clash between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns in the ring, going after each other, giving huge blows. Then we saw Braun Strowman performing 2 running power slam back to back, but it was not enough to keep Roman Reigns down. Then we saw Roman Reigns deliver back to back spears to eliminate Braun Strowman and won the Elimination Chamber match. It was one of the best victory Roman Reigns cleared, like a huge domination by him, and he got a chance to main event WrestleMania 34 against Brock Lesnar. Number 4 Roman Reigns vs John Cena No Mercy 2017. 2017 was probably year Roman Reigns. In that year he was unstoppable. He was booked like a next big thing. He defeated almost everyone step in his path. First he defeated Strowman, then he defeated Undertaker at WrestleMania. Then he was booked in a program with John Cena. Like in the build up to this match, John Cena really killed Roman Reigns on a make sure he showed him why he is the greatest of all time. During their promo work before signing contract, Roman Reigns forget his promo lines in a promo and he was totally embarrassed. Then after signing his contract with John Cena for a match, then John Cena went one step further and he dissed Roman so badly. It was one of the greatest diss of all time in a promo. John Cena said to Roman Reigns that he should be ashamed that John Cena is part-time. John Cena said he can do that part-time better than Roman can ever do a full-time. And John Cena also said to Roman that he should be ashamed that John Cena is still here because he can't do his job. After a great build-up, we finally saw a match between both of them and No Mercy. Start of match was good, like both of them giving punches and blows to each other. And then like shoulder takers between both of them. Because Roman has dominated majority of this match because he was booked like a big threat and he was booked like a more stronger in this match. John Cena sold every move of Roman Reigns move. Then we saw them both of them went outside the ring where Roman delivered vicious spear to Cena through the announcer's table. Then we saw John Cena delivering STF to Roman Reigns but somehow managed to escape. Then John Cena once again went for a step, but this time also Roman break his submission move. Then we saw John Cena deliver 2 back-to-back super attitude adjustments from top rope, then another attitude adjustment, but Roman somehow managed to kick out. Then we saw Roman delivering another vicious spear to pin John Cena. And it was one of the greatest win of Roman's career. He added another legend in his victim list. I think John Cena really did a great job, like pushing Roman to the moon in this match. He sold every one of his move and he passed torch to Roman as next big thing in WWE. I think this match was so good, but I think this match should have been saved for such a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam or WrestleMania because build up to this match was amazing and everything between this rivalry was amazing. So it should have been booked for some big pay-per-view, not like No Mercy or anything. Anyway, this was a good match. Number 3 Roman Reigns vs Brock Lesnar undisputed title match at SummerSlam 2022. Brock Lesnar is not one of the greatest opponent Roman Reigns, and they are one of the greatest rivalry of modern era. They have been part of 3 WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 34, or the 38. And Roman and Brock Lesnar also been part of 3 SummerSlam main events, SummerSlam 2017, 2018, and 2022. Lesnar Reigns also crossed paths at SummerSlam 21, where John Cena was defeated by Roman Reigns. Then Brock Lesnar made his return, and we saw a match between both of them at WrestleMania 38 winner takes all match, where Roman defeated Brock Lesnar, also captured WWE title and became undisputed champion. Then Brock Lesnar made his return around 22 SummerSlam. Then we saw a match between both of the SummerSlam 22. It was one of the craziest matches in SummerSlam history because Brock Lesnar drove tractor in this match, and then he made his entrance via that tractor and jumped right in the ring to attack Roman Reigns. Like the start of this match was blockbuster, it was unbelievable. Then we saw Brock Lesnar going all out against Roman Reigns, punching him in his face. Then we saw a couple of suplex from Brock Lesnar all over the ring to Roman Reigns. Then he smashed him out of the ring and tossed him. And then we saw Brock Lesnar punishing Roman Reigns all over the place and gave him a steel chair shots. Then Roman Reigns made his comeback in the match, gave multiple chair shots in the back to Brock Lesnar. Then he put Brock Lesnar through the table and gave him a hell of punishment. Then we saw both of them getting in the crowd and smashing each other with huge clubbing blows. Then Brock Lesnar did one of the craziest things in WWE history. He drove tractor near the ring and uprooted the ring, and where Roman Reigns was actually in the ring. And it received one of the craziest pop in the WWE history. A whole crowd were buzzing after Brock Lesnar dead act. Then it was looking like Brock Lesnar today gonna win the match. We saw Brock Lesnar attacking Roman all over the place, placing him in the blade of the tractor. It was looking like Beast was in a beast mode. Throughout this match, Lesnar faced too many distractions, lasting through trying to cash in. He destroyed Theory, then Bloodline attacked him throughout the match. Then we saw Roman putting Lesnar in glue line, but Lesnar somehow managed to escape. Then Paul Heyman trying to distract. Then we saw whole Bloodline attacking Brock Lesnar brutally with a steel chair. Then they put all the steps, chairs, and announcer tables, carnage on the top of Lesnar. Then we saw after 10 via count, Roman retained his Universal title. It was one of the best matches of SummerSlam history. Like Brock Lesnar and Roman is so many great matches, but it was one of my favorite and best match of them. Number 2, Roman Reigns vs Undertaker WrestleMania 33. We saw the build up to this match in Royal Rumble match where Roman Reigns eliminated the Undertaker. And next week of Raw, we said Roman Reigns claiming WWE is his yard now. Where Undertaker said that he still owns WWE, Roman has to go through him to claim if he owns this yard. Then we finally saw a match between them. During this build up this match, we saw both men attacking each other. Then we finally got match. In this match, instead of dead man, we saw old man. It was not Undertaker's fault. He was 50 years old plus in this match. Still, he gave amazing performance even though he suffered hip injury during this match. In the start of the match, we saw Undertaker giving punches, blows to Reigns. Then Reigns made a comeback by giving Superman punches to Undertaker. In the start, we saw him spear Undertaker, but Undertaker kicked out of it. Then we saw he beating the hell out of Undertaker in the ring. Then we saw Undertaker going outside the ring and smashed Reigns' toys in the table. Then we saw Undertaker performing a choke slam on unannounced table to Roman Reigns. Then he was looking for Tombstone, but this time Reigns turns the table and gave a vicious spear to Undertaker through the announced table. Then somehow Undertaker managed to make a comeback in this match, gave punches, strikes, and huge blows to Reigns. Also performed some old school moves. Then he got chair in hands and gave multiple big shots to the Reigns. Then also performed a choke slam on the chair and also gave back-to-back Tombstones on Roman Reigns. But nothing was stopping Big Dog that night. He somehow managed to kick out of it. Then Undertaker performed his submission house kick move on Spracket. As match went deeper, it was looking horrible because Undertaker was even unable to perform in this match. Then we saw Reigns punish Undertaker with brutal chair shots in the back. Then he also performed Superman punches. Then we saw Roman Reigns performing back-to-back spears to finally pin the deadman Undertaker at WrestleMania. It was one of the greatest victory Roman Reigns' career, like pinning a legend like Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he became second man after Brock Lesnar to defeat Undertaker at WrestleMania. If you look at this match, wrestling wise, it was horrific. But if you look at this match, it was one of the greatest accomplishments Roman Reigns' career, like beating a legend like Undertaker at WrestleMania. It is not a great accomplishment. In the end of match, we were witnessing like the end of Taker's career. He left his head and caught in the ring. It was looking like it was the end of Undertaker, but he managed to make his return next year at WrestleMania against John Cena. Number 1, Roman Reigns vs Daniel Bryan vs Universal Title Triple Threat match at WrestleMania 37. You might be surprised why I picked this match in number 1 match of Roman Reigns' career. I will tell you later in this video. We got this match because Edge won Royal Rumble 21 and he challenged Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan got in the match because he submitted Roman Reigns at Fastlane. But referee didn't start, and Daniel Bryan somehow managed to get in the Triple Threat Universal Title match at WrestleMania. Entrance of Superstar were amazing because it was first time one year we got fans at any event, and Daniel Bryan also had an amazing interest at Edge too. But we got best interest by Tribal Chief holding Universal Title alongside Jey Uso and Paul Heyman. Then we go to see all three competitors in the ring at the same time. We saw former three world champions in the ring. Ring was two stars started, all of them looking at each other whom to take first. Then we saw Roman starting off things by taking Daniel Bryan edge, and then he went right after. I gave him a huge strikes and punches in the face. Then we saw Daniel Bryan making his comeback in the match by attacking Edge first. Then he went right after Edge and Reigns by giving them super kick and yes kicks in the face. Then we saw Bryan performing high maneuver move like him from top rope to perform moves on Edge and Reigns. Then we saw Edge making his comeback, holding Steve in hands, giving huge brutal shots to Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Then we saw Edge performing his submission move, while looking like Reigns might gonna tap. Then we saw Daniel Bryan performing submission move on Edge. Then we saw both Daniel Bryan and Edge performing submission moves on Reigns, but this bond didn't last long. Then we saw Roman performing thunderous power bomb to Daniel Bryan. Then we saw Roman giving brutal punishment to both Bryan and Edge, and he gave a chair shot to the back of Edge's head. Then we saw Daniel Bryan and Edge getting momentum in the match. Then Jey Uso interfered in the match and he came to aid Roman Reigns. But then we saw Edge performing a spear to Jey Uso and he was carried out of the match. Then Roman Reigns, after distraction of Jey Uso, speared Daniel Bryan. Then he went after Edge and gave him a Superman punches back to back. Then we saw Daniel Bryan making his comeback, performing yes lock to the Roman Reigns. Was looking like Roman Reigns might gonna tap, but Edge broke the submission move. He himself applied submission move Roman Reigns by placing iron rod in the mouth of Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns was fading out. He was almost looking like he's gonna tap, but then Russo caused distraction in the match. Then Edge gave him a vicious spear, but because of this distraction, Roman Reigns got momentum. He performed back-to-back spear to both Edge and Bryan. He pinned both of them at the same time. It was one of the most dominant victory in the history of WrestleMania. Have you ever seen someone pinning two former world champions at the same time WrestleMania? That's why I played this match number one victory Roman Reigns career, one of the most dominant victory in the history of WrestleMania. It was one of the most dominant victory you will ever see in the WrestleMania history or in WWE. In this video, I only covered those matches in which Roman Reigns won. That's why this video is now Roman Reigns top 10 victories in WWE. So I also want to give honorary mentions to those matches which were really amazing. So these are following matches: Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, SummerSlam 2014. Also Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar Universal Title match SummerSlam 2018, and also Roman Reigns versus Rusev Hell in a Cell match for United States Championship 2016. Also one of the best match of Roman Reigns, Great Balls of Fire match between Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman and Ambulance match. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins Universal Title match Royal Rumble 2022. So these were my top matches Roman Reigns. I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching.